Well, I'm on the farm today, and it is cold and windy. We've had rain. It's been blowing snow. Sun's trying to break out up there some. In a word, it is miserable. I've been waiting on a hay customer who I don't think's going to come. It's not uncommon for some of these goofy horse hay customers. And when I say goofy, that's the minority. Most of my customers are pretty good, but there's a handful of horse hay customers you could write a book. You could write a book about. But anyway, I thought while I'm here, I'd check my twine, and in the 335, and see if I can make my way over here. To my 348. I got it wedged in here. I was gonna say, I'm not sure I can even get around it, but I believe I can. I need to load this twine box for sure. I got yeah, 1, 2, 3, almost 4. That one's just about empty. It always works that one side of the twine is consumed just a touch faster than the other side as far as tying the square bales. Right there's some of my first cut hay waiting on a buyer. So just a few things going on here today. Figure while I'm waiting, I'll just show you some things. And this hay spear right here is pretty worthless with our 4x4 bales, and I've thought about selling it, but it has crossed my mind maybe just to cut this off and cut a hole in here and put a new spear on that's a smaller diameter, kind of like over here on the Massey Ferguson 50. That spear back there, it's so thick it pushes the bale instead of going into it. And I think my John Deere baler makes a pretty tight bale, so that's a contributor too. But the spear on the Massey 50, this 100 loader, is much smaller in diameter, and it just slides right in there. Now what's going on with this tractor is I've got a hydraulic hose that burst loose, hoping to have one made up this week and maybe next week get it back on. And also, while I was in here working on it, I pulled the, right there you can see, I pulled the coolant heater on this 3-cylinder Perkins engine. And oddly enough, I was looking at some manuals and some online reference, and I kind of got the impression, I might be wrong here, that that coolant heater really supposed to go in that freeze plug right there. But they probably put it on that side because it's a little easier to get access to. So those are the two things that are going on as far as as far as this tractor goes. This barnyard's starting to get a little bit muddy. I kind of hauling round bales in and out of here kind of started scratching up the sod on top. We still haven't unloaded this thing. I've been doing a lot of reading about these implements, and this little guy right here, I've got plans for it. Hang on a second here. Let me get that thing Let me come back. Hold on. All right. All right, so this middle buster right here, not sure I understand that little rig, but I guess somebody had a pretty good idea, or maybe not. But what I'm going to do with this thing right here is we had a clear cut. The fields that you see on the hill up there, they used to be nibbled down like a golf green, and when we had cattle, but for reasons I won't go into, they grew up, and then probably about 10 years ago we had it clear cut, and that's the fields that you see now that I'm making some hay on, and some fields that I want to make hay on. But the problem is there's still stumps, and they might be, you know, 3 to 6 inches off the ground, and they're pine stumps. They're typically pine stumps. I mean, there's a few hardwood in there, but they're not very big. The ones that are big in diameter are the ones that were pine, and they grew fast. There's some smaller diameter stumps in there, but what I plan on doing with this, so the stumps are rotting and have been rotting, and some of them you hit them with the bush hog and they just blow all to pieces, but some of them remain, and my intent is to get a shovel on here and use this 3-point blade almost like a middle buster to try to knock some of those stumps loose. I don't know if it'll work or not, but before I pay big money to have somebody come in here and do it, I'm at least going to give it a try. And so when I bought this equipment right here, the guy pulled this out, and what he was doing, he was looking for cultivators for that plow, and he pulled that out of the weeds, and he said, "Do you want this?" And I said, "How much?" And he gave me a smoking price on it, so I took that as well. So it's interesting that it's got such you know, heavy, this beam is so heavy, and yet look how thick this is compared to this, and that's what it's hooked to, that's what it's welded to. So if I'm engineering this, I'm making this a whole lot more robust where it connects up here than what it really is. But I'm going to give it a try. All right, I'm over on this end of the barn. It's funny how when the winter comes and all the weeds fall down or get knocked down, you can actually see what it is you didn't want to run over with the lawnmower. So not a long video, like I said, waiting on a hay customer that I don't think is going to show. Been checking for messages, and I had one on let's see, a couple of nights ago that wanted to come, and then just dead silence. And then had one last week, and the week before, the same person. They kept pinging me for hay, and I don't know what was going on in that situation. They didn't want to pay sales tax, and they're paying cash, so why do you charge sales tax if it's cash? And it's just something we have to do here for the state of Virginia. And but they'll come. Everybody tells me hay's short. I guess at some point I'll really find out. I don't consider a shortage of hay as long as I've got hay in that barn. So, well, I better put the video camera away here, and I'm about ready to get into a warm place. You can probably hear the wind blowing. Hope you enjoyed the video. Not much going on. Figured I'd put up a video and just kind of check in. And we'll talk to you later.